Hey friends, today I'm coming on to make my first project with my August Use It or Lose It stash, and I'm going to make these little vintage inspired tags using some vintage images from Creative Fabrica. This are some like vintage tags that I had found on Pinterest for a free printable that I'd found ages ago. So Tim Holtz things in the background, some chipboard stars from various collections, some chipboard from various collections up here. And then I have a little piece of ephemera that I've kind of cut to make it smaller and I could use on various tags, some vintage lace, and then I have a little dangle down here. And I made these using this thin like cardboard. My mom gives me this. I think it comes in her dog's food at the bottom of the box, and so she just collects a bunch of them and then she gives them to me, and then I use them for things like this so that I can make a sturdy base. So this is a nice sturdy tag with the cardboard in between, and then I sandwiched it with this black plaid paper. So let's make one together. So my tag measures 2.25 by 3.5. And of course you can make them any size you want. And I have some greenery, and I've added like a little bit of a snow pin to this to give it a little bit of winter look, because this green isn't perfect for Christmas, but this is what I already had die cutted, and this is what I was going to use. I have my little vintage Christmas images from Creative Fabrica. I will link those down in the description box below for you guys. This little Merry and Bright, all I did was take a strip of white paper and I took my vintage photo and just ran it across the paper, and then I used my micron to write out different sentiments, and then I kind of just crinkled them up to make them look more weathered. I have, for this one, I have a little bingo marker with 24, some vintage lace, and then some various ephemera from Tim Holtz. I've got my stars next to me, this little doily that I had cut up. I have my crocodile and my eyelets, different scissors, my foam tape, and lastly, my glue gun. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna add this, I think, to the back here first. So I'm actually gonna grab my ad tech and do this. And this is just an ephemera piece from one of the many collections from Tim Holtz. So I think I'm gonna add it on this side. And kind of want to put it towards the edge so you can maybe see a little bit of it. Now, I need to grab, I'm using these here from this collection from Merry and Bright. These poor pieces are losing their stickiness. Let's do the green for this one. Now, if you wanted something that was not symmetrical like this, and you wanted to add your tag piece here, you could definitely do that, but I kind of wanted this to be in the middle. So I just took my scissors and gauged about where it would be on this side. And then I just kind of rounded that corner, and they're not going to be perfect, of course, because I'm cutting it. So you can see that was a little shorter over here. And I'm going to leave that. I don't mind that at all. But then I'm going to take the sticker part of this off the back. So it's just a chipboard piece. And I'm going to grab my Crop-A-Dial, and we're going to go ahead and punch our holes. And I'm going to use the small hole on my Crop-A-Dial. We're going to punch a hole roughly in the middle of this little tab. And if you don't have chipboard tabs, you could of course make them out of paper. And then we're going to put this roughly in the middle of the bottom here. And then I'm setting them with some eyelets. And I'm not worried about matching like metal tones. I actually like the look of different metals. So like I kind of got like a bronze and a copper. And then let's go ahead and set these in here, and then we can finish decorating. And you will find everything that I can link for you will be down in the description box below if you're interested in any of these items, or the Creative Fabrica link. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue here on my tab because I want it to stick up some. I got my glue gun a little too close to me at the moment, and I don't have enough room to work. I don't know about y'all, but when my desk gets messy like it is right now, it is really hard to create because it's so cluttered, and I've got different projects going on or stuff to pull out to use, and then it gets piled on one side of my desk, and it just makes it so it's so hard to be creative. All right. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention about these tags is I did distress them with the vintage photo on one side because I wanted, see how that white is really white? I wanted to kind of make it look more worn. So I did the vintage photo, and then I did a little bit of black as well to kind of age these. All right, let's add our lace in the back. I think I'm going to trim this down just a little bit. And I want to have a little bit of the lace peeking off to the side. And then we're going to pop up our photo. And then we need to add this in the back as well. So I think maybe we'll add it like this. I think I'm just going to go ahead and use my hot glue gun. And we'll put some hot glue on here. And that'll help our lace lay down as well. Now the greenery I have is bigger. I like that smaller greenery, but I have multiple sizes. So I think what I'm going to need to do is actually make this a bit smaller and then add that. And then I'm going to around the top of this one, and we are going to use this other piece over here. There we go. Now let's lay let's lay this down, and I want to cover up some of where this has got that harsh cut line to it. So we're going to lay that there, and then we have our little 24. I do think I want to pop that up. So I have this foam tape that I'm just cutting into smaller pieces. And we're going to add 2 layers of this. All right, and then we have that, and then let's see where we want to put our Merry and Bright. And I need a little piece of foam tape there. Let's see, it needs to be just a teeny tiny piece. There we go. All right, we got our Merry and Bright down. And since this is such a smaller little piece, I definitely want to add something. Let's see what stars I have. I do have a yellow one. So for the stars as well, I distress that a little bit with my Distress Oxide ink to give it more of a vintage look, but I think, let's see. All right, I do have another red one. I think we could use the yellow. Let's go ahead and use the yellow. And I'm not sure if there is enough ink on here to distress this or not. Yes, got enough ink on there to distress that a little bit. So let's glue this here in this corner. And then we'll do our 24. Right here, and that has really popped up. All right, and then I have these I think are come from Cocoa Daisy. Let's maybe add a pop of gold on here. Maybe we'll add a gold star right here. And let's see, I don't think I have a small gold star. Looks like I've used all of those. So what about the white one? And let's see if we can let's just stress that a little bit. And add that one here. Let's grab some of my red twine. And to get this through this small eyelet, It wouldn't feed by itself, so I used my pokey tool and kind of smushed it through there. If you have a beading tool, you can use that too. I just didn't have those pulled out. So the first one I did really well with the pokey tool. Now this one isn't working as well. There we go. Got it through. And I wanted my tag, the thread here, to be kind of long. So we're going to cut that long and then it can be trimmed later on. Now for the bottom of it here, I just added a couple of beads and hung them off of a jump ring. So I will do that to this one later on. I can only work with so many beads at one time. And this really did me in. I need to grab my brace. My wrist is hurting really badly. So once I get some more beads done, I will add them on here. I'm thinking this could do with just a little bit of black on there. Let's see if we have a little bit of black we can add. It's looking a little dull. There we go. I like that better. All right, so thank you guys for stopping by and creating my first project for August. These are super cool. I think these would be really good in a junk journal. You could use these in your December daily. You could add these to packages, whatever. For this one, I had a gold marker and I tried to like outline a couple areas, but that just really didn't work. So I'm going to order a gold like paint pen, and I'm going to add a little bit of gold here on this when that paint pen comes in. So I'm going to work on, I think I'm going to make a set of 4 of these because I have 2 more bases, and then I'll be working on the beads for these. And then I'll be thinking on my next project. So thanks so much, guys, for stopping by and creating. Have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.